If you want to get hired in 3D industry, you want to work in a game studio, or you want to be a freelancer, whatever it may be, and you are struggling with actually finding a job or getting paid for your 3D skills, then you may be wondering what the hell is going on and what am I doing wrong, right? Now in this video, I'm going to give you 4 essential tips that will help you get that job. Let's get started. Now, before we go into address these 4 essential things that will help you get that job, that dream job you always wanted, we need to talk about something really, really important. I see this on internet a lot, and it's people who say something like this: what kind of 3D skills should I learn or gain in order to make, this kind of amount of money? Or what kind of 3D jobs pay the most, right? Or what are the best skills to learn to get into the 3D industry? Now, if that's your mindset, you will never really be happy working in any of those jobs, okay? Because there's probably gonna be something that you really don't wanna do. And that's the thing number 1. In order to find a job in 3D or any job, in your life, you need to focus on doing and learning something that you are interested in. Because if you, for example, have zero interest in rigging, and you know that your friend who's a rigger is getting paid really well, and you want to do the same thing as he does because, he's getting, I don't know, $100,000 a year, then this will not work out for you, and I'm going to tell you why. It will not work out for you because if you're going to be doing something you don't want to do, you will not be able to persevere when things gonna get tough, and they're gonna get tough. You're gonna get, deadlines. You're gonna have a lot of stress. You're gonna have pressure. You're gonna have to learn stuff that you don't want to learn. And if you're not driven by the goal of improving your skills in that specific area because you're really passionate about it, you will fail. Okay, you will fail. You're gonna deliver shit projects. You're gonna your output's gonna be awful. You're gonna be tired, stressed, and even if you're gonna be making money, it's not gonna be worth it. Okay, you're gonna be feeling like you're slaving for it. It's awful feeling, and I'm not not recommending this. Another thing is that if you don't have direction in life and you don't follow a specific path that you chosen because you wanted to, you will be making decisions based on feelings and based on sort of a day-to-day motivation, and these are very feeble kind of structures and feeble bonds and feeble motivators and feeble reasons to do things, because feelings, unlike habits, is something that is very fleeting, okay? And it's going to be here today and it's going to disappear tomorrow. So if you're going to base your career on feelings and motivation, then you're not going to go far, okay? You want to base it on habits. And the only way to develop habits is to do something that you like, because you're going to have to do it for a long fucking period of time, and you're going to have to do it every single fucking day. Another thing is that if you're not going to choose a specific path, you're going to be vague in your skills, because you will not have this passion to develop them deeper, to go deeper into the rabbit hole. You're going to be doing the minimum in order to deliver what you were asked to deliver, and you're going to be passed by other people who are more passionate about this and they're really interested in that subject, and they're going to surpass you very, very quickly, and you're going to be frustrated, eventually going to quit, and you're gonna have to start over, okay? Now, if you're going to do something that you like, right, you're gonna get serious about it. And the moment you get serious about something, the clarity shows up, okay? So you're gonna be very clear on what you wanna achieve, very clear on who you wanna be or who you wanna become, and you're gonna have a very clear path to that goal. And instead of thinking about, I need to do this, I need to do that, you're going to be doing it anyway, because it's on the way to where you want to be or to who you want to be. Do you see what I mean? So it's going to happen automatically, and instead of dreading doing something, you're going to be actually enjoying the process, because you're going to see that you grow, okay? Another thing is routine and structure. So that's number 2. If you're not going to build a routine and structure day after day after day, every day, you're fucked. Not just that's it, you're fucked, okay? Your whole life's gonna be fucked, because the only people who are gonna be successful, right? The only people who will actually be able to achieve something, They follow a structure, they follow a routine. It removes the decision fatigue, it basically gives you direction. It also creates self-responsibility, or sort of like a self-assessment structure, because you know that you need to follow something. You know that you said, I'm gonna do this, this, and that every single day. And if you're not doing this, then that means that you're fucking up, okay? And you can just basically look at your schedule, look at your day, and fix it. But if you don't have this structure, it's very easy to say, well, I didn't really, mean to do this, okay? I don't really have to do this, because why would I bother with this, right? But if it's in your schedule, you have no choice. Think about it. When you work for someone and you work 9 to 5, you have to go to the office, or you have to go to the warehouse, wherever you're working, right? Because it's your job. So whether you feel like it or not, you're going to work. See what I mean? That's what schedule is going to do for you. So not someone else telling you what to do, you telling yourself what to do. And when you're going to follow that schedule, and when you're going to succeed, and you're going to actually accomplish these things you said you're going to do during the day, you're going to gain a massive self-respect. And you're going to create these stepping stones going higher and higher and higher, because you will have this base to climb on. Okay, oh, I've achieved this, I can fucking do this. And it's gonna just keep going up and up. And you're not gonna even notice at some point. You're gonna be fucking high, high there up in a peak, having a lot of skills and having a lot of respect for yourself, and also having a fantastic daily routine. Now, another thing is that this structure removes, negotiation with yourself, right? So you don't, let's say you said you're gonna wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're not gonna be negotiating with the snooze button, right? Oh, I'm gonna sleep 10 more minutes. No, you said you're gonna get up to get the fuck up, right? Do you see what I mean? Like it's just kind of like a building self-discipline, and it's really important, because this thing is going to impact your entire life, day by day. And the routine needs to start in the morning, okay? You need to have some thing or few things that you do in the morning that's going to structure your entire day. And if you're going to do them every single day, they're going to give you this building block, and kind of like a starter block for the whole day. So for example, when I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I get up and I drink my iodine with salt in the morning, and I sit down and work. And that's literally what I do, right? For like maybe 2 hours until 6-ish in the morning. And then I do my exercising, either go sprinting or I do my calisthenics. And that is just the beginning of the day. And I do it every single fucking day, right? And my schedule extends through entire day. I have whole day scheduled, right? So I don't negotiate with my schedule, and I don't negotiate with my brain. I just tell him what I want it to happen, and it happens. Do you know what I mean? That's how it works. Another thing is that if you don't have a schedule, you're gonna be waiting until you're ready. Let me tell you about being ready, okay? You're never gonna be ready. There's just no fucking day you're gonna be ready, or feeling well, or feeling perfect, or feeling, mentally ready, or courageous enough to, I don't know, record the video for YouTube. You're never going to be fucking ready, okay? You gotta start doing shit, and the only way to start doing shit is because it's in your fucking schedule. Do you see what I mean? It's all connected, right? Makes sense? So when you make this schedule, you can't really say no, because you said you're gonna do this. So, man up and fucking do it, right? And that's how you're gonna build this structure that's gonna be watertight. It's gonna be ironclad. It's gonna be strong as fuck, like titanium. And this is going to give you immense strength of doing anything you fucking want and planned, all right? So when you got this thing that you really want it to become, let's say you wanna become, I don't know, a game developer, open your own studio. Well, guess what? If you're gonna put effort into it every single day, you will. And we, for example, have a guy in the Hard Surface Academy, in our coaching, personalized coaching program. If you want to learn more about it, by the way, go to blenderbros.com/academy. It's a personalized experience for anyone who wants to really excel and build their skills and improve really quickly. So go ahead and read about that. The link is also in the video description. But there's a guy, Andrew, who created his own game dev studio. He's now working on his 5th game, I think. He's successful and he's really living his life, and he's enjoying himself, but he put a lot of work together, a lot of work. And I watched him growing from zero, okay? I watched him growing from not knowing how to move a cube to working on his 5th game. And that's what you can achieve, not because you're talented, but because you fucking worked every single day towards your goal. You understand? Next thing is going to be consistency, and this one is huge. Look, if you're going to have a schedule, right, and you can have whatever schedule you want, could be perfect, doesn't matter. But if you're not consistent with it, then you will achieve absolutely nothing in life, all right? And you're not going to get the dream job. You need to be consistent, all right? If we, for example, weren't consistent building Blender Bros every single day, if we didn't have phone calls every single day, chats every single day with Josh, fixing problems, thinking about, how to move our business in which direction, what we're going to be doing, we would not be able to make $2.5 million in 6 years, okay? That's the bottom line. But the reason why we're successful and why we were able to achieve what we achieved in that field is because we were working towards that goal every single day, and that's really what we want to do, right? So every single day we're working hard towards that goal, and that's why we're able to get where we are. But if you're not going to be consistent, if you're not going to be working, whether it's raining or sun is shining, or you're feeling like shit or you're feeling great, doesn't really matter. You need to be consistent, okay? Because that's going to give you, again, more power, and it's going to give you this kind of a sense of authority over your weaknesses and over your shortcomings, that you can overcome them and do anything the fuck you said you're going to do, right? Now, consistency is not about intensity. You have to understand this, okay? It doesn't matter if you're going to, show up one day and work for 14 hours and then you're going to take 6 days off, right? It will not work. You need to be consistent. It's better to be consistent and, for like 3 hours every day than just one day for 20 hours, okay? In addition, the consistency is really interesting, because consistency in combination with the schedule, with your routine, is going to allow you to focus deeper, right? And by the way, I have a fantastic video on focus. I'm going to link it to it at the end of this video, so keep watching. But you're gonna be able to focus deeper, and when you focus and you're gonna go into this kind of like a flow state, you can accomplish more in 1 or 2 hours than most people in an entire day. And it's not a gimmick, it's not a joke, it's actually serious. You can do that, and it's it's amazing when you get into this flow state. And you can only achieve this flow state when you're consistent and you're following a schedule, and you know exactly when you're going to be doing something, right? There's a sequence of things you're going to be doing, and you focus on one, then you focus on the other one, then you focus on the third one, but you're doing it consistently, right? And that's going to massively boost your output, and also massively boost the speed of learning and how quickly you're going to be surpassing other people in the same field. And listen, if you're going to slip 1 or 2 days, that's fine. But the most important part is you're going to go back to it and keep going, okay? Because we all have terrible days, or we have sometimes day when you have to do something else. I don't know, go and see your mother-in-law, whatever the fuck. And, you have no choice. But that's fine, okay? But, sometimes you don't feel like exercising. Sometimes you don't feel like doing this or that. And maybe you're tired, maybe you're sore, I don't know. Maybe sometimes you prefer to play a computer game instead of working on your 3D project because you don't have an inspiration. Dude, that's fine, okay? But don't make it a habit. That's the key, okay? You can slip once here and once here, but don't make it a habit. It's really easy to slip completely, all right? And the schedule and routine is going to help you to get back in shape. Do you see what I mean? Get back on track, because you can skip today, but tomorrow you plan the same thing, and day after tomorrow the same fucking thing. So you're gonna kind of slip today, but tomorrow you're gonna be back on track. But if you don't have the schedule, nothing is going to hold you back in that frame, right? You're gonna be basically back to your lazy days, right? So consistency is not about doing something every single day, religiously. Sometimes you can slip. Consistency is about the fact that you're gonna go back to it, right? The next day, all right? So, one day, skip it, that's fine. Get back to it the next day, and the next day, and the next day, all right? Makes sense? And the last one is really important, okay? You want to raise the bar every single day. And the only way to do this is when you're gonna have a routine and you're gonna be consistent. Because if you're not consistent, your skills will not be growing. If you don't have a routine, you're gonna be all chaotic, right? Your whole schedule gonna be fucked up. You're gonna be doing a bit of this, a bit of that without focus. If you can't focus, you can't progress. Do you see what I mean? The only way to, for example, learn something really well. I'll give you an example, right? If I'm studying something for a course, let's say I'm making a course on, I don't know, I was making a mech course, and I wanted to include a rigging section for the course. I had to study rigging. I have to go deep and study rigging on, for mechanical design. And I focused on studying rigging for a good 2 weeks, every single day. It was consistent, right? I just stopped designing and focused on rigging because I really wanted to go deep and understand it so I can actually explain it very well, right? So the mech course has a rigging part in it, which is a lot of fun, but I wouldn't be able to do it well if I didn't study it consistently for 2 weeks. Do you see what I mean? So that's that. And the fact that I studied it means I added another skill to my belt. So whenever I do something, whenever I record a course, I do a video, whatever, I try to learn new skills. I go online, I research, I try to do something outside my comfort zone, so I'm gonna grow. It's really important, okay? It's important to grow, and it's important to go outside of your comfort zone every day. Because if you stay in a comfort zone, you're not growing, you're scared. It's like one of these people who say, oh, AI is gonna take my job. When you're gonna fucking think like this, it will take your job. And it should, because it's laziness, right? This is so important to understand. And, feeling sorry for yourself, it's not going to help because no one gives a fuck. It's the truth. You can be hurt about it, right? You can think it's cruel. It doesn't matter because that's the fact. So the only person who can change things for you is you, right? And you can do this by basically, like I told you, finding, what you really want to do, building the routine and structure, being consistent, and raising the bar every single fucking day, right? There's a fantastic saying that goes, you should not meet the standards of the world with your own standards, but actually raise your standards so you can change the world, okay? And if you think like that, see, that's going to be pushing you higher and higher every day, okay? So instead of settling for what's around you, let's say you're working in a specific job, right? And you don't really like it that much, okay? So you're doing something you don't like. And you don't feel like improving, you're just stagnant, okay? You're consistent with your job and you're consistent with the output, but you're not really trying harder. You will never get promoted, okay? You will never go up because you're not really pushing the boundaries. You're not really getting out of your comfort zone to improve yourself, to expand on your skills. You're doing absolutely fuck all. So no one's going to recognize you, right? And no one's going to reward you for doing nothing, right? And the trick to success and the trick to actually becoming really good at something is to self-improve when no one is watching, all right? So you want to work on these small things and you want to push these small things and improve on these small things when no one is watching, because when no one is watching and it's only you and the problem, you and the hard times, you and the issue, right? And the tough situation, lack of comfort, that's when you're going to really grow, okay? Because it's going to really shape your character and it's going to grow you some thick skin and it's going to really boost your skills and confidence as well, because confidence comes from doing, not talking about it, not dreaming, not planning, from fucking doing. So if you're not doing, you're not going to be confident. If you're not confident, you're not going to get hired. Do you see how it works? It's all connected together. People will not hire if you're not confident in your skills. You have to be confident in what you're doing. And the only way to be confident is to know this shit inside out. And to know this shit inside out is to like what you're doing, be consistent with it, right? Having a plan and improving every fucking day, okay? So that's basically what you should be focusing on if you want to get the dream job. That's the only way to get it. Work on yourself, okay? Find something that you really like. Make a plan, make a schedule, make a routine. Be consistent, raise the bar every fucking single day, and you're gonna thank me later. Now listen, like I said, if you want to get into our program, the Hard Surface Academy, go to blenderbros.com/academy. It's a fantastic program for anyone who wants to improve their design skills, lighting skills, camera work skills, the hard surface modeling in Blender or plasticity. And it's a personalized program and you can actually hop on a call with us, share your issues, ask us questions. It's absolutely amazing. We helped over 700 students to get better and they all got fantastic results. So go to blenderbros.com/academy and check it out. Now, like I said before, if you want to learn more about focus and you would like to learn how to focus better, watch this video next. It's fantastic. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.